Hello everyone, this is Tony Thornton with the American Fence Association. I hope everyone is safe and healthy, and I hope that everyone's keeping a pretty positive attitude about the situation that we're dealing with at this time as our country goes through a period of time that we probably hopefully will ever have to deal with again. Our thoughts, our prayers, and everything along those lines are out there with you guys that are still trying to get the work done. I come to you today to bring about 10 points of information to you that the American Fence Association has been putting on our website, and a couple of key components has occurred the last few days that I wanted to bring everyone's attention to. But if you haven't visited the website, please go to www.americanfenceassociation.com. The first link there will provide you the COVID-19 and what you need to know about the American Fence Association and our industry at this time. We provided that information not only to our members, but also to our non-members. We want our industry professionals to know what's going on and how to prepare and best suit their needs for their specifics as we're all going through this together. So first and foremost is the U.S. Homeland Security Memorandum and identifying essential and critical workforce during this COVID-19 issue. This is a very important document. It provides you all the information you need to know about what the critical and essential issues are, workforce categories are. They are healthcare and public health. They're law enforcement, public safety and first responders, food and agriculture, energy, water and wastewater, transportation and logistics, public works, communication and information technology, community-based government operations and essential functions, critical manufacturing, hazardous materials, financial services, chemical and defense industry. If you have any commercial work that has anything to do with any of those categories, you are considered by U.S. Homeland and Security and Cyberspace and Workforce Agency as critical and essential. No questions asked. Just go get the work done. I've told everybody that's called me, I probably had 100 plus phone calls over the last 7 to 10 days, 100 plus emails as well, talking about, the residential work. And, a position the American Fence Association has taken on this is that doing a residential job for Miss Jones to take care of her little puppy is not essential and critical. Let's make sure that if we're out doing the work, if we're out doing what the needs are of the industry and for the infrastructure for the United States, let's make sure that it meets the criteria as our state agencies has provided, our federal agencies has provided the information to us. You want to check your local areas. A lot of different states are doing different things. It's so fragmented right now that it's just crazy. So just be aware of what your local municipalities, your cities, and your states are doing, because they may be different from the next state. Most states, I think there's 40-something states now that are doing shelter in place, and we're one of them here in Dallas. So just be aware of these different criterias, these different things that's happening, and know what your local codes are to protect yourself and your employees and those individuals that are working for you. Second thing is our U.S. Homeland Security and Life-Sustaining Businesses. This is a document that's on the website. It's a spreadsheet that tells you the categories, the industries, the subsectors, and the industry group as to whether yes or no you need to be out there doing that work. There's a lot of specific no's, but there are a lot of yeses as well. This document in itself will help you fully understand what those 16 or 17 criteria categories are that I mentioned to you just a moment ago. So go to the website, pull that up, and you'll be much better off. As I mentioned earlier, if you're essential and critical, you need the proper documentation. AFA's put together a template. It's on our website. This is where you can copy and paste it to your letterhead, making sure that the local codes of authority, the individuals that are out there policing this situation. It basically states that you are an employee of a certain company, that you're critical, and it actually lists the categories that you deem necessary for this document to suffice. It actually has contact information to where you can have these authorities reach out to you if there's any questions. But I'm going to mention a little bit more to you about that momentarily. But be sure that you have this employee authorization form in all your work trucks and all of your employees that are out doing the work at this time. Another good document that you need to be aware of has been provided by our business partner, Alliant Insurance. Andy and his team put this together, and it talks about the business interruptions and how COVID-19 will affect your insurance policy. Really good read. It's only 4 pages. You need to know what the status is about your insurance and how this COVID-19 issue is going to impact your business and how you can file, if necessary, for the business interruption capability. So again, a good document for you to be aware of. Immediately upon the information that was coming out about small businesses and emergency loans and all of that, we tried to update the website as quickly as possible. One very good tool that's on there right now is prepared by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. It's the Emergency Loan Small Business Guide and Checklist. It's about 5 pages long. It gives you all the information you need for emergency loans during this time. And I recommend it to every fence company that I've talked to or emailed in the last few days. Make sure that you go on there, you fill this information out, and as long as you meet the criteria, a lot of these loans are going to be forgiven. You won't even have to pay the money back. So take advantage of these if you have the opportunity, and there's a lot of good information on there about that. Of course, the Small Business Owner's Guide to the CARES Act, C-A-R-E-S Act. We put that information on there along with the application that you need to complete. This application is a process that will be turned into most likely your local banks. There's about 700 banks, entities that's been approved to fulfill these obligations by the United States government. And please make sure that you fill these documents out, get those turned in. It may just be the difference maker for the next 60 to 90 days for your business to survive, for lack of better terms. But again, making sure that you document properly that it's being used for rent, for payroll, for business use. Don't go pay your motorcycle or your four-wheeler payment on it, because you're not going to be forgiven if you do. Okay, I know our fence industry folks love their toys. I'm one of them. So another great document that I printed out this morning is an OSHA guideline for preparing workplace for COVID-19. This is a 30-something page document, but what I got a call this morning on was, Tony, is the American Fence Association putting together a preparedness or guidelines in order for our contractors to do the work at these commercial environments. What do they have to know? How do they need to disseminate that? And how do they need to get that information to their employees and make sure that the contractors, general contractors, are aware that if you're working on these job sites, that you can be prepared for. This is a great document. It talks about all the ins and outs. You can develop your own. But all morning I've been working on the preparedness document, and it's going to be called the Workforce Guidelines and Preparedness for COVID-19. We're going to talk about the awareness, communication policy, recognizing the signs and symptoms of a COVID-19. It's going to be the monitoring aspect regarding your self-monitoring guidelines, office guidelines, estimator guidelines, truck and trailer and truck guidelines, safety meetings and gatherings, travel guidelines, and additional information that can be beneficial to you and your company during these times. It's also going to provide you some contact guidelines, contact with COVID guidelines, reporting employee incident notification guidelines, and also we provided you a nice form that you can complete and use internally for your company if in fact you have anybody that comes down with the symptoms or the sickness of COVID-19. We're also going to include some safe work practices, control and prevention, social distancing guidelines, which again, check your local codes, your local states. They're all over the board. They're fragmented. Make sure that you know what they are. And also the OSHA guidance that I just mentioned to you is going to be very valuable to you. This document is going to be about 15 pages long. I hope to have it to you and loaded up by midweek on the website. But the most exciting news, the American Fence Association, myself and board of directors reached out to U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cyberspace and Infrastructure Security Agency this last week. Here's the letter. It was sent to them directly to say, look, we need clarification. We understand that we meet the essentials. We meet the critical needs based on your criteria that you're saying in the categories. But we also have run into some headaches in the fact that local authorities say that you're not critical, you're not essential. So can you provide me a letter, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, that states that the fencing industry is a critical and essential need in writing on your letterhead to make sure that our members and our professionals in our industry have something that they could carry with them, noting what they're doing, with no questions asked regarding, local codes of authority or police officers or any of those individuals that may be questioning. I submitted that last Friday, and it outlined every aspect of why we're looked upon as security and safety for the industry. Not only the 12 to 15, 16 categories that I mentioned earlier, but also some additional safety concerns that has to do with automation and gate operators and those type things required to make sure that first responders can get into these HOAs, can get in these apartment complexes, and that we are the first line of defense to make sure that the security and safety and aspects of residents and commercial locations and other things are maintained. So I got a good positive feedback on Saturday at 3 a.m. in the morning. Believe this. It says, "Thank you for your email regarding revisions to the Essential Critical Infrastructure Workforce Guidance. We have received your feedback concerning the fence industry, and our office is coordinating with the appropriate officials for possible future inclusion." So we hope that that's going to happen. I'm going to do some follow-ups this week. But as of right now, make sure that you know what the identifying critical infrastructure during COVID-19, that's that first document that I mentioned to you. Know it inside and out, fully understand it, and you should be in good shape. But just for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cyberspace Security, and Infrastructure Group to reach back out to me to say, hey, we realize that you guys are essential. We realize that you are critical, and we're going to be working with you. And I hope to hear back from them sometime this week. And again, I will be doing multiple follow-ups to stay on top of that. So again, this is just a message to our fence industry professionals that the American Fence Association is the voice of this industry. We're working hard on your behalf. We hope that everybody will stay safe. We hope that everybody will stay healthy. And I know that this is a time like we've never dealt with before, and hope and pray that we'll never have to deal with anything like this again. But if you need the American Fence Association in any way, if you need to reach out to me, go to the website, email me, Tony at AmericanFenceAssociation.com. Call me on my cell, 972-533-3658. Any questions, any concerns, anything that we can do to help our industry partners from manufacturing, distribution, or contracting, please reach out to us and let us know what's going on. As you can see, I'm working from my carport. This is my office for the next few weeks. We're working from home. We're sheltering in place here in Dallas. So I'm readily available. Would love to talk to you and keep you informed as best we can. All we're trying to do from the American Fence Association standpoint is keep you updated to where you can make an educated decision on what's best for you, for your company, and for your employees during this time. So God bless. Hope everybody, again, stays safe and stays healthy. And please reach out to us if there's anything that we can do in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Have a good day.